Hello, folks. Charlie Gipple here with CG Financial Group. So I want to bring you in on a conversation that I was having with my wife this morning. I was sitting reading my respective reading material for a Saturday morning. She was reading hers. I was drinking my coffee, my gallon of coffee here. Look at that coffee cup. Compare that to the size of my head. And I am pumped after having this conversation with my wife, and I want to bring you in on it because I convinced myself during this conversation to be even more enthused than what I was previous. Here is what my wife asked me. She looks over as she's reading her book or whatever it was and says, Charlie, if the bread and butter of your business, of our business, is being a marketing organization, helping agents, reps, financial advisors with, the life insurance, the annuities, the asset-based long-term care, why is it, she says, that you distract yourself occasionally with the personal production side of things, with the securities business, with the insurance agent business? And I said, two different reasons. The first one for you fine folks, for the financial professionals, is probably less relevant than the second one. But my first response was, as a marketing organization, I am not an ivory tower type of guy, meaning that I would have proven everything that I say to the agents that work with CG Financial Group. I would have already proven it with my own money, with my own sweat equity, so to speak. I'm not an ivory tower type of guy to where I'll throw something together or have somebody throw something together, go out to the agent and say, here, this sucker works. Well, really, Charlie, why does it work? Well, just because, I think it's something that'll work. No, it would have been proven. So I said, that, number one, is why I do the personal production stuff. That's why I'm going to do a client seminar here in a few weeks, because I want it to be proven. But I want to be a chef that eats what he cooks, right? The second response is this, and this is the one that's most relevant and to me, most motivating, I guess. And it is the science, the math and science around the huge opportunity that exists for all of us, whether you're an insurance-only agent, whether you're a registered rep, whether you're an investment advisor, or all of the above. Here's what I said. I said, listen, Noel, baby boomers today, which were born between 1946 and 1964. This is the math and science. Baby boomers today own 75% to 80% of the country's wealth. And they are retiring now. I could have just left it at that, right? But I'm kind of an analytical type of guy. I said they're retiring now. So let's take these numbers. The oldest baby boomer was born in 1946. And again, that generation spans for 18 years. That oldest baby boomer in 2011, or 8 years ago, hit retirement, right? And assuming all ages of baby boomers have the same amount of wealth, let's just assume that the distribution of wealth among the baby boomers is equal, right? So my chair just popped back on me. So let's say that the distribution of wealth is equal. So Noel, that means that only 7 years worth of 18 years of baby boomers have hit retirement if we assume retirement age is age 65, right? So if I were a rep or an agent sitting here today, and let's say I have one baby boomer walk into my office a week saying, hey, listen, I'm retiring and I want you to do something with my 401k plan. Now that typically doesn't happen, but bear with me here. Let's say if you have one person, one baby boomer, which these are the folks that have all the wealth, that is interested a week, that comes into your office and says, I need help. Well, then by the time this pig through the python has completely digested through the python, meaning that over the next 11 years, all the baby boomers have hit retirement, again, assuming a 65-year-old retirement age, then that means that more than double, that you'll get 2 or 3 people coming into your office a week that are interested in your services. If it's one today, it's going to be 2 or 3 just by doing nothing, just by letting the demographics work themselves out over the next 11-year period of time. Why? Because 11 years from now is when that pig, so to speak, that demographic pig has gone through the entire retirement python, right? But I'm not done. I'm not done. So if that one person turns into 2 or 3 people, here's the thing. Who is the average agent today? Who is the average rep today? Who is the average advisor today? They're baby boomers. They're baby boomers, right? What does that mean? That means you have this pig through the python, as they call it, that's hitting retirement over the next 10 years or 11 years. That average agent is going to be retiring. What does that mean? It now means that we have let's call it half of the people like me in existence that are going to help that pig through the python retire. You can take that number of 2 to 3, which at one point was 1, take that 2 to 3 and effectively double it, right? Why? Because now the supply of information, the supply of advice, the supply of financial help has been cut in half. So now those 2 to 3 people that are coming into your office, it's not two or 3, right? It's now 4 or 6. So that is some simple math, some rough math, yes. But I remember once upon a time, about 20 years ago, when I was just getting in the business, I remember pundits coming in and talking about, hey, the 1980s and 1990s, you know, these baby boomers, they own all the wealth. It was all about accumulation, but you cannot ignore the statistics, they said. And many of you that have been around for a while, you remember first hearing about this thing called decumulation, this thing about distributions. And it was new at the time. It was kind of new at the time. Why? Because we just went through 2 decades of huge of a bull market, right? So these pundits are coming out saying, but you cannot ignore statistics. The new normal is going to be more about distribution, right? So make sure you understand everything when it comes to talking with consumers about distributions. And at the time, a 20-year-old kid, I was like, yeah, whatever. It's always been about saving money, and yeah, whatever. They're actually talking about annuities and lifetime withdrawal benefits on annuities. This, of course, was later in the 2000s. Yeah, whatever. I'm sure that's going to work. Well, you know what? It's happening. Statistics don't lie. And these statistics, these broad statistics that I'm sharing with you, they don't lie. If you plan on being around for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, stick it out. Stick with it. Why? Because if you're making $200,000 a year today, you could be making $1 million if you stick it out. Was it John Savage that says the secret to success in the life insurance business is to what? To last. To just outlast your competitors. There is some truth to that. That should be some motivation. If you're not already motivated being in financial services, that should be some additional motivation. Those are the numbers I think about every day. And that is why I am never giving up my securities licenses again, or my insurance agent license, not only to prove it to the agents that work with CG Financial Group, but also so that I can capture some of this opportunity going forward as well when my friends retire, when my parents retire, when, you know, all that stuff. Charlie Gipple, CG Financial Group. When you as an agent work with us, we are on your team, but not on your payroll. If you like these statistics, feel free to click that you like this. Share it with your friends as well, because your friends, or you, if you're in financial services, or your friends are, they should be motivated, very excited. Have a good remainder of the weekend.